The 2026 refreshed Tesla Model S Plaid is here. As you can see, this one right behind me is actually mine. I took delivery about a week ago now. Diamond black paint, white interior. It does have the yoke along with the 21-inch upgraded Valerian wheels. These are replacing the 21-inch arachnid wheels on the outgoing Model S Plaid. This car, as spec'd before taxes, is right around $110,000. However, if you watched my delivery day video toward the end, you'll know that I did not pay anywhere near that amount. In fact, I paid before taxes between $80,000 to $85,000. And toward the end of the video, I'll actually talk about how I went about doing that. So yeah, let's take a few spins around the car, look at everything that's new with the refresh, and talk about why I actually purchased this car as a new Model 3 performance owner, that being roughly 80 to 85% of this car, but for half the price. So first up, I do want to quickly clarify that yes, this is a 2026 model year. I had some people saying that it wasn't. As you can see right here, it is indeed a 2026. They are doing this exactly how they did the refreshed Model Y, even though that car came out in March of this year. They gave it the 2026 simply to avoid confusion. If you remember when the Model 3 came out, they left it as 2024. It came out at the very beginning of 2024. And that confused a lot of people a little bit later on down the line, because you could buy a 2024 Model 3, but it not be the refreshed. So in case you want a little bit of Tesla lore, there you go. Yes, it is a 2026. The other thing I want to mention is the paint. This has been stealth or matte PPF'd by Drive Protected. And this is my second time PPFing a car. So if you see a little, you know, little finger here or there, this is a DIY, and for 25% of the cost of getting this professionally done, I think it came out fantastic. There are a few little things like the mirrors I need to redo, and this rear fender back here, you can see I need to redo that as well. But that's why Drive Protected is great. They have a risk-free guarantee. I messaged them, said, hey, I screwed up, I'm a big idiot. They said, no problem, we're gonna send you out some new pieces for you to give it another go. So I'll have them linked down below. But yeah, besides the PPF, the only other thing that I have added are floor mats, right? So we got floor mats in the front as well. They're a little dirty just because they're doing their job. That side's not as dirty. Yeah, super clean, minimalistic, really match the interior of the car. If you want something like this, but for your Model 3 or Y, I'll have them linked down below. They are the exact same design style. They just fit the 3 and Y. Here it is in the rear. I think they look really good. They really do match the car. There's no big, ugly logos on it. Code YouTube, all caps, to get you 10% off. So yeah, if you need some all-weather floor mats, the best all-weather floor mats you can put in your Tesla, they're XPE, so they have foam in them, and it helps with noise coming up through the floor, so they actually do help with inside cabin noise, along with being super easy to clean, just power wash them. I really like them. I've been running these floor mats for years at this point. But yeah, getting into the new stuff. The front does get a new front fascia, and this is only on the Model S Plaid, and not Model X Plaid, not the long ranges. Model S Plaid only gets this new front fascia. Now, when I originally took delivery, it was a little hard to tell what was new because it all just looked black. But here with the matte PPF, it's a lot easier to tell what's new. Now, all the gloss part you see will be like that on every color that you get. So if you get the new Frost Blue, what you see here that's gloss black will be gloss black on that. The new front lip, gloss black. They have this little cutout right here, right beneath the fog light, and right above a painted part, along with a line that goes all the way across the body or the front bumper underneath the headlights here. And this is the new front fascia. I think it looks really good. I'm glad that the Plaid looks different than the long range. The next change with the front fascia is the insert. From my understanding, this insert is on both the long range and Plaid S. It's not on the X, but on the Plaid here, it is a carbon fiber insert right behind that now blacked out, no longer chrome, no longer floating Tesla T. This is stuck on just like 3 and Y. You can take some fishing line, fish it right off, and the carbon fiber matches the other carbon fiber around the car. and inside of the car. If you do get the long range, I believe it's just a satin black insert, if I'm not mistaken. And then the final change is the new front bumper camera, which is on all trims of the S and X refresh. And just like Cybertruck and Y, it can clean itself with a little spray button that you'll find on the inside of the vehicle. So that is the front. Now, if we loop around to the back, I may need to pull the car out here. The rear has some changes that are, once again, exclusive to Model S Plaid. We have the new rear bumper with the cutout right there, and yes, it is real, it's not just for looks, along with a new spoiler. Spoiler is bigger. It has the little curve in it, just like Model 3 Performance spoiler. And then finally, the new rear diffuser, much bigger, much beefier, huge strakes right here on the sides. And overall, much more aggressive looking. I think it looks really, really nice. It is gloss, just like all the other accents on the car, the window trim, the lip, all the new stuff on the front bumper that we just took a look at. Yeah, I think it looks really good. We can kind of get a little bit lower here. In the Tesla app, on the, like if you have a home setup, it looks so aggressive just sitting in the garage on the charger. This rear diffuser does. And I mean, I think it looks super, super sweet. For the side has remained pretty much unchanged, though I think that's honestly a good thing because I think the side profile of the Model S Plaid looks really good. Of course, well, I say the side has been unchanged, but that rear diffuser is so beefy that it does actually change the look of the side a little bit, along with the new front lip. But overall, there's not any changes to the refresh on the side, excluding the wheels. These are the 21-inch Valerium wheels. Now on the website, when you order these, they show them with the caps on, but you can actually take the caps off. They are just like the 20-inch Warp wheels on the Performance 3, in that if you want a little bit extra range and efficiency, you can put the caps on. But then if you want a better looking wheel, take the caps off. And later on in the video, I'll actually show me taking the caps on and off in case you're curious in terms of difficulty, how they come on and off. Because if you know the Model 3 Performance wheels, those Warp wheels, those arrows are an absolute pain to take on and off. Once you take them off, you shouldn't really ever put them back on. Don't even bother. They do actually scratch your wheels unless you're super, super careful taking them on and off. But that is the exterior. If you did watch my delivery day video, you probably will notice there's gonna be a lot of overlap in this video. I did have quite a few comments saying how they wish I would have shown more of the car. So here you go. This is your video. This is the full walk around, everything that's new. Now, let's go ahead and let's dive in to the interior where there is some more changes. And let's first start with the bucket seats. Now these technically did come out in 2024 and were in the 2025s. They came out at like the exact same time Model 3 Performance was coming out with its bucket seats. They are different than Performance 3 bucket seats. Instead of the black piping, it has like a full Alcantara on the sides of the bowstring, the bottom of the bowstring. It still has the logo. And then swinging around to the rear, you'll see that unlike Performance 3, where the rear seats are no different at all, the Plaid here does have the styling extending into the back with the Alcantara on the sides and on the bottom. Now, these are not bucket seats back here in the rear. They just have the styling. I have put almost 200 miles on this car at this point, and I will say that these seats do feel differently than Model 3 Performance bucket seats, even though they're exactly the same size. Like I've measured the bottom of the butt pan there, right there. I've measured the top. I've measured the back. They are the exact same size, but they definitely feel different. And I feel like depending on your shape and size, these may be more comfortable or they may be less comfortable. Right now, I'm finding them to be just slightly more comfortable. The reasoning for that, these right here, this part right here, the hard part bowstring is on the side. It's not in the middle like it is on 3. 3, like all this through here is soft, but once you push down right here on the top is when it becomes like harder. It's really weird to describe. 3's like shape is more so defined by the cushioning, where this one is more so defined by the actual like hard piece that's in there. And because I have a little bit wider legs, my legs tend to sit on this part right here. And this part's not hard on these Plaid seats. On my performance seats, they're not hard, but when you sit on top and you can press down, you can feel them. You know, I'm only 200 miles in, but for the initial impressions, I think these are slightly more comfortable for me, but that may change. But yeah, just give me a little bit more time with them. As you'll see, same thing with the bucket seats on the 3. There is no rear pockets on these seats, which, I mean, I've never really used. I recently, and this is a little bit off topic, this isn't new, I didn't know this, but this back right here, this armrest, those are wireless chargers right there. I did not know that. I found it out the other day. I was like, oh, nice. They have like little phone slots to hold your phone. You know, 3 doesn't have this. I put my phone on there and it started charging, and I was taken back for a second. Now, as for the only other change with the refresh is going to be the interior lighting. You'll see right here, it spans the entire length of the dash. It's integrated into the doors. It also extends back into the rear doors as well. It is on the center console, which, if you all saw my Legacy 3 I owned a few years back, I had some custom light strips. Yeah, I had light strips on the center console. So the fact that these are now on here by default, I think is super sick. I really like the accent lighting. These are the accent lights, but there are ambient lights, which are the floor lights. I'll have a clip right now at night. At night, it looks super sick, and you can change the lights. Is a butterfly about to fly in my car? About to get some live action butterfly photography. So it really does liven up the car at night. I think it looks really good. They've done a really good job of integrating these into the trim piece, so you cannot tell, which genuinely I thought right there between the white and the trim piece, they just slapped a light strip in there and it was gonna be super ugly and tacky, but no, they did a really good job with this. Previous S, from my understanding, actually had the port to connect a light strip, but it just never ended up working out. Hey, maybe they're gonna do like they've done with a lot of other things with S and offer it as a retrofit, maybe, who knows? Or maybe they just want you to buy the new one. All right, so now let's hop in the car and actually take a look at some of the new software as it has changed up a little bit. First up, since we already have the cameras up, yeah, here's the front camera. And you just swipe up and down. Driving new Model Y, they put out an update that I've actually seen a lot of people not like. The fact that when you do the front camera, it's on the top, but then when you swipe down, or when you swipe up or swipe down or whatever, it transitions to the bottom. I am a big fan of how this just stays on the top. And right here is your little clean button. Getting into the menus here, as this is a little bit different. Now, when I originally was showing this in the delivery day video, I was a little confused because if you take it out of custom, right, then you lose kind of all that individual customization. This all used to be sliders. You still have the sliders, right? You just got to put it in custom, and then here are your sliders. So preferred ride height, I have mine set to higher just because I am really enjoying the comfort of this over my Model 3. Ride and handling, I have that on standard, though I'm actually gonna put that into sport. Steering wheel heavy, and then acceleration Plaid. So yeah, kind of a weird setup here. You'd think I'd be Plaid heavy sport lower, but no, I like it to feel more sporty in the handling and the acceleration, but in terms of comfort going over bumps, yeah, I would like some comfort. I completely forgot HomeLink was a thing, standard in Model S, so I really do want to get that set up. Lights, so here's the new accent and ambient lights. So the accent lights are the lights like right here, and that go all the way around the dash and the door and the rear, and the ambient lights are the footwell lights, and it also extends into the back. Also, your saved ones that appear down here, these transfer. So this transferred from my 3. I got in the car and these were already here. Display, show the vehicle introduction when the display power is on. And if you're curious, you like it, but you want to quickly skip it, you can just tap the screen and it'll go right away. The automatic blind spot camera being on the driver's display is super, super cool. I really, really like this. This is not new for this car, but it is new in the sense that it came out like less than 6 months ago. And it does a really good job of not being blinded. I mean, look at the like definition and the highlights there in the clouds. Look at that. Like you can see the clouds, but it's not blown out or like super weird looking because the sun is shining literally like right on that camera. Yeah, I think this looks super, super cool. And it's super useful. I really do like it. Jack mode, you know, I completely forgot that these cars are a little bit different to jack up compared to 3 and Y because of the air suspension. Software, as you can see right here, 177 miles. Model S and X still come with a year's worth of premium connectivity, which I think is super cool. I think it's kind of lame that 3 and Y don't come with that anymore. You used to get a year if you bought anything over the base, right? So my first Model 3 long range I had came with a year's worth of premium connectivity. These also come with a month worth of full self-driving. Here is my software. I still don't have Grok or any of that. I also don't have Grok in my Model 3. Trips, not really doing the best on efficiency, but hey, for 1,000 horsepower, who cares? But that is everything that's new, interior, exterior. In terms of build quality, as that is a pretty big topic, especially with S and X, I've gone around with this little tool right here, which is a panel gap measurer, tester, I guess you could say. Checked all the panels. All the panel gaps are really nice, really tight, except for one, which I'll show in just a second. And I also went around prior to PPFing it and took a little paint tester. Honestly, the paint discrepancies aren't too bad. I was getting readings higher up on the car of around 5.5 mils, and then lower toward the bottom of the doors, high 3s into the 4s. So I remember my black Model 3, I had the rockers, which the rockers on these are actually plastic, in case you're curious. The rockers were like 1.5 to 2 mils. Like, they were so thin that if you shined a light on it, it would actually start to look brown. This doesn't do that. Pretty well put together, in my opinion. The only spot that is not is this front right here, and I actually already have a service ticket created for this. This gap is a lot larger than the gap on that side. And actually, if I take this right here, you can see the, yeah, here we go. So that's a 5 going on a 6, where if we come over here and do it in the exact same spot, I can't even fit it in there. I'm hoping that maybe it's like a hood adjustment. They adjust this side a little bit tighter so it shifts the hood over just slightly, because I think that's what it is. I don't think the headlight is misaligned, because if you look at the bottom looks good, but it's just on the top. So besides those 2 or 3 things, it's been really good. Let's go on a drive. I'll talk overall driving experience so far, how I feel about the yoke, because they've actually, and it's not new, it's just new to me because I didn't know it. They actually opened up one of those GM DC fast charges, like a 350 kilowatt. We already have an Electrify America here, which completely blows. It sucks. It's tons of issues, but the GM one, from what I've read, has been super reliable so far. So let's go and let's use the CCS adapter to plug into it, and let's talk on the way. Overall, kind of first week, let's start with the yoke. Do I regret getting the yoke? No. Buying a Plaid, you kind of have to get the yoke. I don't think I'm going to stick with it. I want to throw the car around a little bit more, and it's not that I can't, it's just I'm not as confident. You can throw a car around with a round steering wheel and just let the wheel glide in your hand, and then when you need to catch, you just grip hard, right? Because the wheel's in your hand. With this, you can't slide it. You have to be, I mean, you can, but then you lose grip on the top. And for just normal driving, right? If you're buying this car, you don't want to throw it into a corner and see how it feels. I mean, because this car feels really good. Yeah, it does feel bigger than my 3, heavier, but I feel like if I had that round steering wheel, I could really, oh, look at those geese. I could really dig into corners with this car. If you don't know, this is actually the 2nd generation of this wheel. They originally updated it because it started peeling really bad the first year, 2 years that they had the yoke. It was peeling really bad, so they did update it. They put this stitching lining through here. I mean, it feels really nice, but they didn't update the button. So like I already mentioned in my delivery day video, these feel very capacitive. Model 3 is still capacitive as well. And if you want to check, just hold your finger on the button without pushing it, and you'll get the pop-up on your screen saying that long touch has been detected. That's how you know you have capacitive buttons. With Model 3, they updated it. They allowed the button to move some, which adds to the illusion of it being a real button. This one, they did not do that at all. They just kept it the same. They also kept the icons the same. So it kind of looks like someone drew on a piece of paper, and then you kind of stretch it a little bit. So it's thin, and it just, Model 3 button logos look better. Model 3, Model Y. Also, it has the old camera icon where it looks like a camcorder instead of being the circular camera. Speaking of driving the car, yeah, I'm definitely sitting up a little bit higher than in my 3. I'm starting to get used to it, so I don't feel higher up, but then whenever I go back to my 3, I feel a lot lower, which I really, really like. This seat just doesn't let you get as low to the floor. I sit on the floor in my 3. I come from, my first car was a Mustang. I'm used to the bucket seats, used to literally just being on the floor. It's how I've always driven. Pretty much any car I get in, it doesn't matter if it's a truck, if it's a whatever, I put that seat right to the ground. And how I know that I'm, nice and low is that my shoulder will be beneath this, or like right at the line. And as you can see, it's not beneath this. It's actually just, it's a few inches higher, so it's not that big of a deal. I actually am kind of slouching a little bit to get a little bit lower, right? Because I do have the room in the leg space to get a little bit lower. So right here, when I'm down, I really feel like I'm on the road, and I really start to feel nice and at home. But yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying driving this car. It is more comfortable than my Model 3 Performance, even on the 18s, on the standard. With this on the lowest, on the 21s, that air suspension's really coming in. Noise from the outside, it's quieter than my 3. I don't know if it's quieter or more comfortable than previous Model S. I don't have a previous Model S. This car really makes me want to kind of just take a road trip. Get on the interstate, throw on autopilot or FSD, and just let it eat through the miles. Get to a supercharger, rip at, the full 200 to 250 for up into, I think it's like 40. It's like 40% is when it starts tapering. Yeah, I feel like this would be a really good road trip car. So the next time I do a road trip, it'll probably be in this car. Payment has been authorized. Checking cable safety. I'll tell you what, this does not look safe. This is taking a really long time to do the handshake. $75, $85, $86. All right, right here. Sorry, still getting used to the charge screen. Charging complete at 7 kilowatt hours. Let's see what the screen says. 8 says it's dispensed 8 kilowatt hours, and total charging cost was $6.21, which is very, very expensive for only 8 kilowatt hours. The same at a local supercharger would be half the price, if not less than half the price. So now, why did I end up buying this car? I already have a performance sedan from Tesla, new Model 3 Performance. Absolutely love that car. It's great. For anyone curious, no, I'm not selling it. I am keeping it. It's 80 to 85% of this car. Was it really just because it's a Plaid, it has the 1,000 horsepower? No, that's a tiny little bit of it. I do think this is like the ultimate modern muscle car that is at least relatively affordable, especially if you're looking at them used. Like I mentioned in the delivery day video, a lot of things ended up aligning with this car, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, I did not pay anywhere near the $110,000, $115,000 that this car costs. I've been driving Model 3 for 4 years now, going on 5. I'm very comfortable with the platform. I know it inside and out. I know how the car handles, how it feels. I could drive that car blind, literally, with how good FSD is nowadays. To be honest with you, I just wanted something different. I really like the Lucid Gravity. I think that looks really cool. I really like the Rivians. If Rivian ever opens up leasing here in Kentucky, I'll probably lease one if they have a really good lease deal. This is kind of my first step into the higher end, more luxurious cars to be able to draw comparisons. And I don't want to go from Model 3 into those cars and be like, oh my God, this car is so great, it's so crazy. But I haven't tried Tesla's more expensive, luxurious cars. Also, what the car does offer, it's a hatchback. I did need more room than what the 3 had. Not necessarily I needed more room, I just needed like a bigger opening to put stuff into. And it being a more comfortable, quieter ride is a big plus. The first kind of star that aligned is Kentucky, the state that I live in, got its selling dealership license, whatever it is, but they didn't actually start deliveries until I think it was June. It was really, really recently. The reason that's a big deal is because once Tesla can sell in a state, that also means they can lease in that state. And it was sometime toward the end of last year, Tesla officially opened up lease buyouts. So now you can buy out the car either at the end of the lease, the start of the lease, does not matter. And as you all know, the Model S does not qualify for the $7,500 EV tax credit, which now, when I put the order in, I didn't know, but now we know that's ending come September 30th. So why am I even talking about this? Well, there is what's called the lease loophole. You can Google Tesla lease loophole. And what people have found is that technically you can get the tax credit for a Model S, but you have to lease it. I'm not a tax professional. I don't understand the whole ordeal, but the TLDR is that if you don't qualify for the tax credit, like let's say you want to buy the 3 or the Y, or you want to buy an S or an X, those don't qualify for the tax credit, you can lease the car. Now, there are a few states where this doesn't work, and there are a few exceptions, so you do have to look into it. But for my case, and a lot of people I've seen, you can lease the car. You pay an extra like $1,000 to like $1,250 to lease the car and then buy it out. But you can lease the car. Tesla then credits you a lease credit that they then transfer to you in the form of a cap cost when you do your lease buyout. So yes, I have officially done my lease buy. I did it day one, and I saved $6,300 doing it that way versus just paying straight with cash. Now, the next star that aligned was the referral program. If y'all remember last year, Tesla introduced the new referral program. They killed the old credit program. And the way that the referrals work is that they expire at the end of the month 1 year later. The first 10 referrals that I did, because we were capped at 10, well, everyone was capped at 10, and that was roughly about $5,000 that I had that was going to expire at the end of August if I did not use it. At least the way mine worked is that I was not able to apply those referral credits until I got my VIN. Had I waited, right, because there's still a chance that the Model Y Performance comes out before the end of August. Had I waited, I may have been able to have used that on the Model Y. More than likely, I would have been waiting at least a month for the VIN, meaning that, yeah, I would have lost the $5,000. But on top of that, if y'all remember, in December, they did like a limited time. They reset everyone's referrals a month early, with them still going to reset again at the first of the year, this year. And instead of being $500 per referral, it was $1,000. So I got my first $5,000, I was capped off, and then in December, I was able to do another 10 referrals at $1,000, that was $10,000. And then at the start of the year, I was able to get another 10 at the standard 500 rate. So I had $20,000 ready to go. I applied the whole amount to the car. It's about $6,300, let's just say $6,000 for the lease credit, plus the $20,000. And then on top of that, referral for $1,000, like self-refer, even though like my referrals were capped, you can still self-refer even when you're at your cap, and then military discount as well. So in total, 28, almost $30,000 off this car. So that's how I ended up only paying roughly about 80 to 85 after tax, which I think for a 4-door, 1,000 horsepower mom missile, right, that can drive itself. I think it's very comfortable on the road. The noise, I mean, you hear it in here. I think that's a great price for this car. And then the final thing that really pushed me over the edge was like, okay, let's get the car. And I'm not a financial advisor, but for me personally, I always told myself, no big boy expensive cars until, where the hell am I going? Where am I even at? Until I own a house. So the night that this became available to order, the refreshes came out. The following morning at like 11 a.m., I signed and got the keys to my first house. So yeah, I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and get it. All right, let's see how these wheel covers work for the Valerium wheels. In case you're curious, here's what they look like. And you know, I don't actually know which spots they go in. I think they go like, all right, a little bit of troubleshooting, and they go just like this. That was a very loud pop, but that does seem to be how they go on. Now let's take them off and see if they scratched, because I'm seeing marks, but I wiped them and it looks like the marks come off. But let's double check here. Okay, so grab. It does seem to be leaving some sort of marks that's not just coming off by rubbing it or even like scratching at it with a fingernail. So yeah, maybe don't put the caps on your wheels. But yeah, if you all are new around here and you want to see more Tesla related stuff, you all want me to damage my stuff so you know not to damage your stuff, then feel free to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.